Hello, everybody. I've got a quick story I want to tell you guys. But first off, before I do, I wanted to ask a question. And that question is, have you ever made a career decision based on your student loans? The story I want to tell is my story and my career path and how I ended up where I'm at. The career path that I ended up on was not originally how I thought it was going to go, but early on in my career, I made a lot of decisions on jobs that I took based on student loans. I basically just, the first year out of school, I traveled. I was a traveling physical therapist. And it had nothing to do with anything other than the fact that I just lost my dad and just wanted to get out and see the country a little bit and kind of see, what was out there. I ended up in the middle of nowhere, Texas. Lived in a log cabin for a while. Worked at a skilled nursing facility in the middle of nowhere. Then I ended up in Honolulu, Hawaii, doing home health for a while. That was excellent. Then I ended up in Asheville, North Carolina, doing home health as well, before I finally settled down. And I started making career decisions based on the predicted amount of my student loans. And the first job I took was an outpatient job at a hospital system. Didn't pay very well, but it was outpatient. That's what I wanted to do with my life, or so I thought. The next job I took was at the same system, but it was a little bit better paying job because it was a manager position. So I just kind of moved up the ladder there. The next job I took was a outpatient facility down in Savannah, and that was a large pay increase. And so again, my student loans were about to start coming due, and they were going to be about $1,700 a month. And so I just kept climbing the ladder and making decisions to take these job offers based almost solely on the pay scale. And unfortunately, I got down to Savannah and found that the company that I was working for was pulling some kind of shady maneuvers and things when it came to Medicare. So I had to kind of leave that position quickly and ended up then taking the next job at a workman's comp company for several years. And I stayed with them for about 3 or 4 years, mainly because the pay was good. They had a student loan repayment program, which was great. So some of the money monthly went to my student loans, which was excellent. But I only stayed with them for about 3 or 4 years because eventually I wasn't making any raises, which was fine because the setting itself was okay. But their benefits got worse and worse and worse year after year. So it was about $1,700 a year for a family of four, or $1,700 a month, I'm sorry, for a family of four. Then went up to about $1,800 a month for a family of four, $1,900 a month for a family of four, and eventually ended up at $2,100 a month for a family of four to get benefits on. And I believe the deductible was $3,000 individual, $5,000 family, which was some of the worst benefits that I had ever had in any of my jobs. And so I eventually chose to leave that position because I was actually making less and less money every year as their benefits increased year over year. So then again, my next kind of shift in career decisions became solely about the benefits because my wife is a type 1 diabetic. So, we need not only medical benefits, but good medical benefits. And these decisions, started to kind of become more clear to me when benefits kind of became the next thing that was kind of important to me. So, we went from the workman's comp company to a skilled nursing facility that had fair benefits, better than the workman's comp company at least. And then from there, I kind of linked up with a home health agency. The home health agency had not great benefits, which is why I stayed mostly with the skilled nursing facility. But then also the home health agency, I kind of did PRN. And then I started my own business and started doing mobile therapy. From there, I kind of went on to online education with pteducator.com, and eventually I ended up going into consulting and business consulting as well. All of which has been great, and has led me to where I'm at now in academia. And when COVID hit, that's really what made me kind of rethink my decisions on where I was going and what I was going to do for career-wise. And academia has been great. I've enjoyed it. I love teaching, but the benefits package at the university I work at is the best I've ever had, hands down. And it wasn't a tough decision to leave clinical work to go work in academia with the benefits package. So, looking back, a lot of my career decisions were made based on my student loans to start with, and then later on in my career based on benefits. I truly believe that if you start your own side gig or side hustle or business early on in your career, even if it's just a small one, something that you can start on the side, doesn't even have to be clinical. That can kind of help make your decisions a lot easier. If you want to work in a setting, or you want to work at a position that may pay a little bit less and may not cover those student loans, adding a side hustle in as an adjunct and a little bit of a side income can help you stay at the job and the position that you truly love, and then bring in a little bit of extra money to then put toward those student loans if that's what you truly want to do. Plus, you get the benefit of tax breaks and write-offs at the end of the year for having a business and all the purchases that you have to make for the business. So, if I had one bit of advice, it would be to work in a setting or a job or for a company that you truly love and enjoy. Don't do it because you need the money, or don't do it because you need, to cover the student loans. Work where you want to work where you love, and then from there, figure out how much you need to make up the difference as far as your student loans or your bills go, and then work on starting some form of side hustle or side business that can help adjunct your income and add to it based on that, because it's going to be a whole lot easier to make more money than it is to try to, cut corners and try to budget and try to really nickel and dime things to bring down your costs. With student loans coming due again come beginning of February of 2022, if you haven't started a business yet, but you're interested in it, I'd love to hear from you guys. Comment down below if you have any interest in doing that. I'd love to help you out with that. It's definitely become a passion of mine. It's what I wrote, my entire book about was a PT Educator Student Debt Eliminator and the multiple revenue streams that healthcare providers can perform. So I would strongly recommend looking into starting your own business or side hustle if you haven't already. It'll help you make a lot wiser career decisions, and you'll be able to work for a company you love, or a job you love, or in a setting that you love, or with a population you love. So that would be my one bit of advice. Hope everybody takes this advice and runs with it, because like I said, hopefully it'll help you avoid the mistakes that I made early in my career.